host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning, everybody.
Such an awkward pause right there.
No, it's
I'm thinking.
because of Mark Zuckerberg and his pain in the butt
Methods
Facebook rules
here.
that we have
Yes.
to have that awkward pause now because we're sharing this to our group because
And we're gonna share that at our feelings every single time too.
because our voice makes a difference.
It matters.
They listen to us. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
How
Hey,
are you doing,
Coach.
Coach?
I am making it. It is gonna be a gloomy day today.
So we're having a hurricane. In Indiana.
Yes.
I didn't know we got them.
Is it from the lake? How do we get them?
It is from Jamaica.
Okay.
From last week's hurricane.
Yeah.
Was it
We gotta pray for those people from
Yeah.
in the Bahamas. They got hit hard.
Yeah.
So, pray for those people.
So we are getting the remnants of that, and today is Llama Show Day. So I asked Sarah if they were going to put floaties on the llama or how they were going to do that.
Yeah, what do you call a hurricane with a llama in it?
Yeah. Hopefully they don't float away because our spot at the fair is at the lowest possible space.
Yeah, and you're by a lake part, right?
Yeah, we're by a lake, so we've got an issue going on in Warsaw. Imagine that.
Imagine.
Yeah. They're trying to get rid of our fairgrounds and trying to shut down the 4-H fair and sell the grounds and buy new ones. And so we're about ready to take our signs and save the fair, save the fair.
They need to buy the land first to show you. See, like, hey, look at this place. We're not getting rid of it unless they are going to get rid of it.
Well, and here's the lovely political side of that. When they buy the land, they're buying. There's talks of buying it from elected officials. Well, imagine that, right? Imagine that.
But this is not what this show is about today.
That's not. No, but it's on Monica's heart today. Yeah, it's really yucky outside.
Yep. Hey, but I'm not blurry today.
You were not blurry. Our sound is wonderful. So we're going to just convert this thing over to a podcast for when you're on vacation.
Yeah. You know what happened? You just spoke the word vacation and I got distracted. I went like, oh.
Squirrel.
But I was going to say, it's probably because I restarted my computer today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good to do about once a week. I do that once a week.
It's important.
Oh, so how are your clients going this week?
Oh, they're doing great.
Have you had sessions? Man, I had back-to-back.
Yeah, you did. I saw your schedule. It was it was like 1:30, 2, 2:30, 3, 3:30, 4.
When did I shoot you a text? At the end of the day, I'm like, I made it.
And then then I shot it back down. I shot your bubble down and said, "Hey, we still have group sessions."
We run a group. We run a weight loss group every Monday night. If you needed some support, that's where you go for some support for sure. Yep. So we had a great group last night, and I was finally finished at what did we get finished at 9?
9.
And then I pulled out my carnivore ice cream.
It's so good.
As my reward.
Listen,
it's like reward.
Y'all. If you have not had this, it is not kooky. It is delicious. My kids, it's kid approved. That the picky kid syndrome. It is. They are like, oh, I want a bite of your ice cream. Like, okay, and they can have.
It's like Ritter's. Do you have a Ritter's where you are?
We do. No, we don't. We have a Culver's. They have custard. I don't remember what custard really tastes like.
Smoothness. Yeah, it's so good. I just dropped the link to where you can go download the free recipe on our website. We have a free recipe that's carnivore.
Yep. And as you click, before you do that, you should say, hey, where are you watching from? would you please like, follow, and share
Mm-hmm.
this video out on your own page? You might not resonate with you today, but it might
Mm-hmm.
resonate with somebody on your page. And because we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about what
Yeah.
today? We do have a topic.
Yeah, we do. Well, last week we gave free marriage advice.
Oh, we did.
So
Was that last week?
might have been 2 weeks ago. You never know what will come from
You
this
never
channel.
know. You never know. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. No, we're going to talk about consistency,
Mm,
and we're going to be consistent in that message too, because it really is the difference between dieting and changing your life for good, forever. And
you know,
so
there
we're
are
going to talk about that today.
people that are consistent with dieting, though.
Hmm. That's true. Ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and
Yeah, and they're very
downs and
consistent with it.
hmm
How do you break loose from that?
right. Yeah. You get sick of it.
Mm,
You get sick of gaining more weight back. You get sick of the roller coaster ride. You get sick of it, and you say, "Okay, what do I do?"
right.
Because diets obviously don't work. We've tried them for years; they don't work, and so you got to try something. You got to just say, "I'm done. I'm completely done with that." So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about some disordered eating thoughts and patterns. And we'll talk about whatever you want. So if you have a topic that you want us to address, you just drop it in the comments and we will answer any question, any topic, anything. We will go there.
Yes.
So
Also, my kids are still home, so
all
you'll probably
right.
hear conversations in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. I got mine calmed down. This thing right here, this is an
Little buzzer.
amazing tool.
Well, it's a vibrator, right? Like,
It's a little zapper.
mm.
So yeah,
You might get some hate mails now.
I know. PETA.
How dare you?
How dare you shock your dog? Well, the funny thing is I've never had to shock him.
Right? It's just a
Um,
little buzzer thing, right?
oh, he's going through his teenage years. He is 9 months old, and we need to get him fixed. We're trying to decide: do you get a Great Dane fixed? If you know the answer to this, by the way,
Oh,
drop it in the comments. Do
yeah.
you get a Great Dane fixed before a year or after a year? I
The
don't
mo-
know.
the modern medicine and veterinarian school says a year, right?
They
Or
all argue with each other.
yeah, they do.
All of
It's
them are
for
like,
about the
what?
hip dysplasia, that sort, or
Mm-hmm.
stunting growth, or something
Cancer.
like that.
It's about
Cancer.
cancer. Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
nobody agrees. And so here I am with this dog that is trying to be a terrorist, and I love him so much. Speaking of him, I love him so much, but I did not love him on Sunday night. And I'm like, I couldn't find the charger for our zapper. And so I'm like,
He
I'm
hit it,
tearing
didn't
the
he?
house. Yeah.
He
I'm
did.
tearing the house apart trying to find it. I found it, plugged it in, charged it up, put the collar on him. I didn't have to zap him one time. And this is a completely different dog. Completely different.
Yeah,
So,
it's like training
maybe
a horse.
users. Yeah. So let's talk about consistency. If we gave a rundown, like if I gave a rundown of my, what was it, 10 sessions yesterday, in your sessions, if you had a rundown. Now we have those clients who are all in,
Mhm.
who are in it for health, and who are in it to reverse their diabetes, who are in it to reduce the inflammation. Those people understand what cheating does to their diet, and they are like our star plus clients because they don't let the scale dictate their mood. They're just like, I'm in this to reverse my type 2 diabetes. I need to get off my medication, and I know what it takes, and I know that you can help me get to that goal. So we've got those. That's probably 25% of my clients. And then we've got those who understand the long-term benefits of slow weight loss. They understand that, hey, I know I'm going to need you for a year. I'm just going to go ahead and hire you for a year. I know that it's going to take time. I know my path, and I am okay being slow. What percentage of those clients do you think that I'm okay, like, I got you for a year? I would say maybe 35, 40% are that
Okay,
way.
your percentage is a lot higher than mine.
You think so? Yeah,
I was waiting for you to
you're
say
right.
yours first.
You're right. You're right.
I
Maybe
would have
20.
said like 15 to 20%. Like
Hmm.
I would have, that's what it,
That they're okay.
hmm
They
yeah,
understand. Now they also know the health benefits of what we're doing. So
yes.
that also helps. You really, really have to understand the science behind the kind of lifestyle we live, because you understand that reverses type 2 diabetes. And you understand that when you have a pause on the scale, hi, you understand that, isn't he cute? He is just so
I
darn
can't even
cute.
see him.
So they understand that when, they are losing weight, they are also reversing those diseases. And then we have the dieters. Then we have those who are like, my friend's on the weight loss shot. She's losing 25 pounds a week, and I want you to make me do that too.
I call those the want-tos.
The want-tos, yeah. And they are the ones who quit. They're the ones who quit early because it's not fast enough. They're the shiny object syndrome clients
The
of,
FOMO.
oh, what she's doing is working better, so you must be doing it. You must be wrong because I'm only losing a pound on your program. She's losing 25 pounds a week,
Yeah.
right?
And here's another one to add. You've got those that have like doctor scares. Like anything that the doctor says, they're scared.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
So true.
Like if they're eating healthy, they're doing the things. They're not eating pounds of butter. They're just everything's balanced. And then the doctor shows them something, and then they're like, "Oh,
I have not told you this story yet because it's so fresh and it's so new, and I'm going to
we
be
haven't
very careful."
We haven't conversated for a while.
Haven't had a FaceTime in a while. This is the most exciting thing. Do you remember what the one I told you about the mental health and the client who came off the mental health medications, and her brain, when she went carnivore, her brain started, like, her head and scalp started tingling, right?
Itchy, yeah.
It was detoxing from the medication she was coming off of. I mean, it was just the most fascinating thing. So this is a similar story.
Right.
So we teach carnivore. We teach keto as a foundation. Everything we do is a foundational principle of keto because you can live keto for the rest of your life. Whoever says keto is not sustainable is all wet. They have no clue what a ketogenic lifestyle is, right? You need to yell. Okay. All right. They have no idea what truly the ketogenic lifestyle looks like. And so we teach keto as a foundational principle of here's where you can come back to when you do something crazy like carnivore, right? And so that's what you and I are playing with right now and loving. I'm not convinced at this point that carnivore is sustainable or, a lifetime. I'm not convinced
long-term,
yet.
no.
I'm loving how I'm feeling. I've lost 15 pounds on carnivore. I've lost 30 pounds since January, and 15 of that was carnivore.
Colin.
What were you requesting?
Hold on.
Oh my gosh. This is live, y'all. This is live television right here. I don't even have the 7-second delay. We need to figure that out. 7-second delay. Or maybe even you could have an on air.
It could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Could have been
I don't think any of his friends watch our videos, so we're good.
Could have been your husband coming in there to do that, right? You need one of those neon on air signs.
I really need one. Yeah. On both doors. I need 2 of them.
Hilarious.
Anyway, so carnivore.
So we love the principles of carnivore. I'm not convinced that it is sustainable. I'm on day 45, day 50. Loving how I'm feeling. So keto's foundational, right? And then we have these other tools that we can use in the tool chest to see if our clients like it, to see, get rid of inflammation. So I have a client on that right now, and she is probably 25 days in, I would say. And she was kind of getting like, I'm ready to go back to keto. So on her pre-consultation form that she sends me, that we get from our clients every week before we meet with them, she's like, please help me convert back to keto. And I'm like, yes, we're headed that way, because I never want a client unhappy. So we sit down and I'm ready. I'm like, okay, let's talk about keto. Let's talk about how to convert back over. Let's talk about your macros. And she's like, I was all ready to do that until I just saw my doctor. And I said, okay, all right, tell me more. She said, my doctor said, don't stop carnivore. She said, I've been battling with long-term COVID and
What'd you say?
long-term COVID, the long form of COVID. And
Oh,
I've been battling that, and and the doctor said it is in my body because I've had it 4 times. And she said, what is happening now, because that's not testing positive. And she gave a really, really scientific, and I could not repeat what she said. I'm going to go meet with this doctor, by the way. um, anyway, what is happening with carnivore is it's coming out of her system. Like, she is completely detoxing, getting that virus out of her system, and her doctor's like, do not come off carnivore right now.
wow.
What you're doing is working, and your symptoms mean it's coming out. I was so fascinated. I asked for the doctor's um, contact information because I want to go talk to her. I want to go learn more about, what she is seeing in her practice,
Right.
because we are on the cusp of having some real medical answers. And so she's like, well, my nose is itching. She's like, well, can you help me make it just a little bit more fancy? And so that's when we brought in the carnivore ice cream,
Right.
and that's when we brought in, what do you do at a wedding, and things like that, and making carnivore more realistic. But
Yeah.
doctors are changing their minds.
That's
I mean,
fascinating.
it is amazing what is happening in the healthcare world.
Yeah.
And they're also panicking. They're
Mm-hmm.
also freaking out because when we heal our own bodies, we're not going to need doctors.
Right.
So,
That's that word empowerment that's just been ringing
right,
up my ears past
right.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
In the fact that when we have control and we
Mhm.
know how our bodies work,
Mhm.
because right now we're just clueless
Yeah.
because we just are trusting what these people with somewhat knowledge and that go to school for medical purposes, and we depend on their say. Like when we
Mhm.
have the empowerment, because we know, especially
Mhm.
with carnivore, what when you bring in certain vegetables, what certain vegetables do to your body, like
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
empowerment to me.
Yeah. It
It's
is.
very similar along the lines of fasting. I don't necessarily
Mhm.
believe that, like, the hardcore fasting is sustainable just as
Right.
much. I think where we are is, the consistency of, I'm going to bring back the word that we're talking about, the consistency of being able to rotate, having the
Mhm.
cyclical
Yeah.
for the season that we're in. So
Using
one
it for the
person
season. Mhm.
was using it to get, like, dive in deep into the inner, like getting
Mhm.
the nasty disease out or
Yeah.
the inflammation out. And they can use that the same with fasting. You can do the same thing. You can create your own
Mhm.
new stem cells with fasting.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many amazing things that you
Mhm.
can only be empowered
Yeah. But
by
you
all
have
of
to get
those.
out of that diet mentality. In
Mm-hmm.
order to come into that world of freedom, you have to get out of the scale's not moving, so I'm quitting. Scale's not moving, so I'm gonna have a cookie. Scale's not moving, so you must not know what you're talking about. You got to get
Right.
rid of that, in order to get to the place where you can take your healthcare back into your own
Mm-hmm.
hands. So those clients who understand that, those are the successful ones. The ones that are failing or tend to fail until they get sick and
And
tired
what's
of failing.
failure? What's our definition of failure?
I quit. I quit. I accidentally had some sugar, so I might as well screw it for the rest of the day,
Okay.
right? Um, and gaining the weight back, losing the same 5 pounds for a year. There are so many people who sabotage their journey to where they lose the same 5 pounds for a whole entire year. They'll gain it back, they'll lose it. They'll gain it back, they'll lose it. And it all boils down to consistency. We talked a little bit last night in our weight loss group about how a lot of people expect to feel the word motivation. They
Mm.
expect that word to come with a feeling. And the word motivation, I mean, it's an active word, so you would assume that it would come with a feeling. But motivation does not always come with a feeling, it comes with a doing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you do things before you feel things. There was something we go over the 12 steps, in our group, in my addictions group. And one of the things that we talked about last night that we read together was action reinforces belief, and belief in turn supports action. And so sometimes you just got to do the things before you feel like it. And when you do the things before you feel like it, it'll come. The answers will come, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people expect to feel euphoria the entire journey, and I might have felt euphoria maybe twice
Mm-hmm.
during my
Yep.
weight loss journey.
Yep.
And even this last 6 months when I lost 30 pounds, um, maybe I felt euphoria twice, like, oh my gosh, I do feel like the weight is coming off, or oh my gosh, I do feel like I'm getting more tone. You only feel that a couple times. And so the problem is our clients are no, not our clients, it's just general. This is a general
Yeah.
population thing. When they don't feel something, they cheat or they give up. I've had several conversations here in the last month of somebody, not moving the scale, really frustrated with the scale, about ready to quit. And I'm like, okay, are we tracking accurately? Are we tracking? Because I'm going to go back and I'm going to see everything you ate for the last 7 days. And I go through and I look at what you have commented to them. Great job, great job. I'm looking at it. I'm like, where's the problem? Where's the problem? You said great job. It is a great job,
Mm-hmm.
right, with the macros. And then they'll say, oh, well, that day I forgot to add the cookie. Oh, that day
Yeah.
we had an ice cream party that day and I just didn't put it in there.
That adds up, y'all.
Bingo. No consistency
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
When you are consistent, the weight will come off.
It's kind of like you were able to make it not happen when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Sometimes people do really it's
it
accidental.
really is.
But
Yeah.
if it's a consistent thing
Mm-hmm.
and you're not tracking, it's like, oh, this never actually happened.
Yeah.
And then you can forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, your body's telling you that it happened.
Because the reality is one cookie is not going to make you gain any weight.
No.
One cookie. So if you're telling me that you're gaining weight, right? If you're saying I'm gaining weight or I'm not losing weight, that means there's more than one cookie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's science,
Right.
right? So yeah, it's the consistent part. When you're consistent for 90 days, you'll see a difference.
Yes.
You really will. But it's the cheating in between. It's the falling off. It's the going to a church picnic. It's the going to a birthday party. It's, well, I've never, there's my nephew's only ever had, his first birthday, one time. And so I had a piece of cake that day. Well, that day is multiplied with all of the events that you have in
Yes.
your life.
Because
So-
we're not people that don't do anything.
Mm-mm.
We're people with activities and events and out to eats and
Mm-hmm.
gatherings all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And if you fail to plan to fail. So if there's an event coming up in your life in your meeting with your coach, and we're talking a lot to our clients today, but when we talk to our clients, it's general population, because
Yeah.
this is not something that is just, isolated. It's a natural thing. But when you have these things pop up in your schedule suddenly, when you have that and you don't plan for it, I'm wanting to go somewhere that my brain is not following me yet. But you have something up in your schedule and you haven't planned for it, you're going to go to these events and you're going to cheat. You're
Yes.
going to, unless you have an aversion to cheating, unless you have it in your head, there's nothing that I will starve before I put that in my mouth. And some people do have that capability. But if you go to an event and you see a row of donuts on that table for breakfast and you don't have a plan, you're going to grab one of those donuts. 9 times out of 10, you're going to grab one of those donuts and you're going to take a bite, and that bite is going to lead to a 30-pound sugar binge. So if you fail to plan to fail. And so that's why we talk through every situation. I don't care if it's a baby shower. We talk through every situation. What are you going to do here? You got a wedding coming up this week. What are you going to do? What are you going to bring? Are you going to put something in your purse so that you don't feel left out? Are you going to abstain? What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So consistency. That's
Yes.
probably our number one frustration.
Right.
is-
And last night we talked about the consistency of, when we know that our schedule is super busy
Mhm.
and things overlap, like Darcy had recently overlap because of the over what's the word?
Commitment.
Commitment.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
then you're going to have that's going to create chaos. You know,
Yes.
those are situations that are not helping your lifestyle change. You've got to be able to change all of them, maybe not together, but you need to work on them. And like the
Yeah.
body, mind, and spirit,
Yeah.
all of those need to be worked on together when you're changing your lifestyle. And so if you are not willing to give up that busy, chaotic world that you live in, thinking that everybody needs you and you alone, you are going to create that cortisol that's going to spike your insulin, and you're never going to lose that weight because you are spiking your insulin nonstop. It's like you're constantly eating a lollipop in your mouth, and you are when you are doing this you are promising yourself that you're like, okay, you're committing to it. You're committing to the consistency of food, of what you put in your mouth. You also need to add in the consistency of, I'm going to do better with balancing my schedule.
Right.
I'm going to do better of balancing when I'm creating oxytocin, which is maybe sitting down at the dinner table with your family and creating that oxytocin, being intentional on certain things that are not going to overwhelm you and stress you out, or be involved in somebody else's drama, because that those types of things are seem like, oh, that doesn't happen to me, but it happens to a majority of people.
Yeah.
And so when you don't have the consistency in your schedule, you can say goodbye to that scale being nice to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That scale
just,
will be very, very loud
Yeah.
and bark at you, and then that's going to be
Or at minimum, just stay the same. You know,
Mhm.
I don't even try to work with a client when they're going through a stressful season. I don't even try to work with them for weight loss until they give up some of the stress, because it's
Yeah.
physically impossible. You can't lose weight when you are constantly living with cortisol. And that's glucose. You
Yeah.
can't do it. And so my goal, when a client is going through a season of grief, or stress, or just things are out of whack, we just work on maintaining that weight
Mhm.
and going through the motions and just doing the things without the feeling of motivation, because they don't feel motivated at that time. And so yeah, we just maintain. That's all we do at that point.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't cortisol, when you're creating too much of it, because our bodies need cortisol. Our bodies naturally need a certain amount.
Yeah, we got to run away
Balance.
from the
There's
tiger.
that we got to run away from that tiger that's chasing us, our ancestors, but we are somehow not using, or we're over creating it. Doesn't that store as fat?
Yeah, it does. It creates glucose, spikes the insulin. It's the same process as
Right.
if you eat a donut.
Right.
So yeah, but a lot of people are willing to give up the sugar and all of that, but they're not willing to give up the stress.
Right.
Because for some reason we have dubbed ourselves as women. I'll speak on behalf of women in general. We've dubbed ourselves as super women. Like we've got to work in this man's world. We got to fight to get to the top. And because of that, we now are killing our adrenals. The adrenals of a perimenopause woman are just like, looks like just a ragged homeless person. Like, we're killing ourselves.
Yeah.
And most of the time we're choosing to do so.
I think of it as, the wisdom that women should be in when they are in the perimenopausal phase. Like that should be the time when, we're created to be powerful people. Like God created us women pretty powerful, because we can bear a child and have very little pain that we know of. It's painful, but like we are able to withhold this pain. And then as we age, we start to decline in certain things. And I think that's the time where we need to pass on the knowledge that we have, and the tasks and all those things that we still are holding on to. We should be passing those on to the ones that can handle it.
Yeah.
But instead, we're just carrying all of it with us every single season that we're in, and we don't give it up.
Yeah.
And so now it's our job, when you get to that perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal phase, you need to be like sitting at a beach watching all those other people that can handle that stress and handle that cortisol.
But
and
can they? Can they?
I
They're
don't,
also
well,
killing themselves.
that's true. Well, there's to a point because they still have enough of the everything else that they can help balance
They
it
do,
out better.
but they're working on their future hormones and
Yeah.
they're working on their future habits.
Use it while you have it.
Saying no, huh?
Use it while you have it.
That's what I always thought. And now here I am, perimenopause. I'm like, wow.
So now you are in the phase where
Alien
you should
took
be
over my
watching
body.
me and being my coach,
Yeah,
coaching me.
yeah. Good morning, Gary. It's good to see you. He's going to the beach soon?
Yes, we happen to be going to the same area.
Wow.
I know.
Some people.
Yes.
Talk about getting rid of cortisol, right?
I know. I'm excited. My brain's already said that we should have been there yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So we want to encourage you this morning, and this is probably a shorter session today.
It
But
is.
we want to
It's
encourage you
30.
to work right now on getting rid of that stress. Work on getting rid of that disordered eating. I think the diet mentality is disordered eating. And I've always said, even as a health coach who has actively practiced for 6 years, I am one breath away from an eating disorder if I don't be careful, if I don't watch my mind, if I don't watch my body, my soul. Our bodies, minds, and spirits are connected. And so when we don't watch that and we don't put boundaries up, we could end up in a really in a disordered eating mentality.
Mm-hmm.
We coaches could also do the same if we're not aware that we've got to watch, protect our spirit. We've got to protect our emotions. We got to protect our bodies from becoming, disordered, having a disordered thinking, eating situation, right? We're so
Right.
close to that.
So true. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. I'll answer any questions.
Yes. Add that in there.
Yeah. So we've got,
Hey!
Are you leaving for vacation next week or 2 weeks?
I feel like it's
The end of July, right? Okay.
Close. Something like that.
Yeah. Hey, we had our new podcast come up.
Oh yeah, it is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's
We had
Tuesday.
a podcast release today. I don't know what it's about.
I'm not
because
sure
it's
either.
been scheduled, but yeah, we are.
Was this part of our part 3 to our series
I
that we
think
did?
it was Body, Mind, and Spirit.
So we're talking about the
spirit today.
Yeah, the 20th.
Yeah. All right. Gary knows your.
Yes,
he knows
apparently.
Your schedule.
I was going to say this before we leave, like a great book to read for consistency and working on that is Atomic Habits.
Oh, super book. Seriously.
You know?
Yeah.
That one is one if you need, like, you've got the food down and you're actually just needing to move on to, okay, how do I use the word no?
Yeah.
And feel good about it? How do I balance my schedule without overcommitting? For one, put it in your calendar.
Yeah.
That'd be
That's
one.
True. That's true.
Second one is go read this book. It is a top seller. Has amazing points. If you don't like to read, you can go to, obviously Audible and read and listen to it, or there's a book that is a summary of it. So you can read the key points.
Yeah, I marked mine all up. So I couldn't listen to it. I had to mark it up. But
I do both. Because when I'm listening, I've got to be able to mark it and listen to it. I've got probably ADHD or ADD or something like that prevents me from educating myself very well. But
so the top recommended products in this show today is the Ninja Creamy.
And
the book Atomic Habits.
Yes. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was the only other book that I could think of.
Yeah.
Power to Change is a good one, right?
It is a good book. Yeah, I'm about halfway through it. It's a good book.
Yeah. I've got 50 million books that I'm in the midst of.
What I'm reading now is this one.
What's that? Oh, the Unholy. That's one I haven't gotten yet.
Oh man, it's good. It is so good.
I just ordered the 12 Steps Overeaters Anonymous, but I don't think I got the right book.
Well, there's different covers. I got an ugly cover.
Okay.
one of our girls last night had a nice, beautiful white cover. I'm like,
Oh,
what book did you get?
mine had a
So,
blue, and I don't know.
12 Steps for Overeaters, an interpretation of the 12 steps.
I might not have gotten the right book.
Yeah, you need it.
I do. It's really important.
Yeah,
For sure.
go to Thrift Books. That's where I get
Okay.
all my goods. All right,
No
guys.
questions.
So if there's no questions,
Questions.
we are here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. And
We come as we are.
we are. We come straight from the gym. I thought about moving it, and I'm like, it is what it is.
And it's fine.
It is what it is. I just lifted weights today. I'm starting.
I've
Did you
got
see
kids.
this? Do you
I
see this
did.
right
I
here?
see that.
This
That's
is
amazing.
New. This is new, and that's my goal. Like, I want to get toned.
Toned. Not buff.
do.
You want to get toned.
I do. I want to see definition.
Yes.
So,
Same.
yeah. So that's
That's
where
a
I
good
came
goal.
from. And so you're
I
gonna
did not.
go do some parenting.
Well, I got to tell them to get dressed. It's almost 12 o'clock.
Did he know the situation he walked into?
Listen, if they fall under the category of men not seeing the details of, if I'm talking, I might be on a live call, I might be on a video call, I might be on a phone conversation, but you never know. You should walk in with
my husband now asks me. Last night we ended our addictions a little bit shorter, and he's mouthing, "Are you done?" Because he's walked in before, just
just talking. It's fine.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. I know it's hard on
is.
their end, but
Yeah. Hey guys, if you need help, if you are frustrated with your weight, if you're frustrated with the diet cycle, if you are just done fighting this thing by yourself, please reach out to us. Number one, go to our website, kmhealthcoaching.org. Download the free ice cream recipe, the free carnivore ice cream recipe.
so good.
It will come to your inbox. Do that, and then schedule a session, a free a health assessment session with us, and we will help you find the right path, because not all of our programs are right for you. You got to start in the right one. We want to make sure you get there. So go schedule a session with Coach Darcy or myself, and we will be back here next Tuesday. I think Darcy will still be here, but we'll be back here next Tuesday to talk about something else. Let us know if you want us to touch on a subject. We will do so.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you next Tuesday, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great. We cannot wait